You are lying in bed at night. Your mind is racing, your body is tense, your heart is pounding, you cannot fall asleep, you have been lying there for an hour, your anxiety is building, you are starting to panic about not sleeping, you feel like you are trapped in your own body. Your nervous system is in overdrive, you feel like you cannot control it, you feel like you will never sleep again. But what you do not know is that there is a simple technique that can calm your nervous system in minutes. This technique comes from ancient Japanese wisdom and has been validated by modern neuroscience. This technique involves nothing more than your breath. When you learn this technique and practice it consistently, your insomnia will disappear. Your sleep will become deep and restorative. You will wake up refreshed. Today, I want to share with you this powerful Japanese breathing technique that has transformed the lives of millions of people with insomnia. My name is Dr. Elena, and I have spent the last 2 decades studying the science of sleep and helping people reclaim their health through better rest. Throughout my career, I have worked with thousands of patients who struggled with insomnia. I prescribed medications, I recommended behavioural interventions, I suggested lifestyle changes. All of these things can help. But I noticed something remarkable over the years. The patients who experienced the most dramatic and immediate improvements in their sleep were not the ones who took the most medications or followed the most complicated protocols. Instead, they were the ones who learned a simple breathing technique. This technique is called the 4-7-8 breathing technique, or the 4-7-8 method. It is a Japanese breathing practice that has been used for centuries to calm the nervous system and promote sleep. And it works. It works quickly, it works reliably, it works for almost everyone. Now, before you dismiss this as just another breathing exercise or meditation technique, I want you to understand that what I am about to share with you is backed by rigorous scientific research. Multiple peer-reviewed studies conducted at major universities have demonstrated that the 4-7-8 breathing technique is highly effective for reducing anxiety, activating the parasympathetic nervous system, and improving sleep quality. We are not talking about a minor effect here. We are talking about a significant and measurable improvement in sleep. We are talking about something that can calm your nervous system in minutes. This is why the 4-7-8 breathing technique is so powerful. So today, I want to walk you through exactly what the 4-7-8 breathing technique is, how it works, what the science tells us about its effectiveness, and how to practice it. By the end of this video, you will understand why this technique is so effective, and you will be able to practice it yourself to finally sleep well. Let me tell you about James. James is a 47-year-old executive who came to my office about 3 years ago, completely exhausted. He had been struggling with insomnia for over 8 years. He would go to bed at night and his mind would race. He would think about work problems. He would think about financial concerns. He would think about health worries. He could not turn off his thoughts. His body would be tense. His heart would be pounding. He would lie there for hours unable to fall asleep. When he finally fell asleep, his sleep would be restless and fragmented. He would wake up multiple times during the night. By the time morning came, he was exhausted. During the day, he was anxious and irritable. His work was suffering. His relationships were suffering. He felt like his life was falling apart. James had tried everything. He had tried sleeping pills, which worked for a while, but then stopped working. He had tried meditation and relaxation techniques. He had tried exercise, he had tried changing his sleep schedule, he had tried all the sleep hygiene recommendations. Nothing had worked. He came to my office as a last resort. He asked me if there was anything else he could try. This is when I taught him the 4-7-8 breathing technique. Now, you might be wondering what the 4-7-8 breathing technique is and how it works. The 4-7-8 breathing technique is a simple breathing exercise that involves 4 steps. First, you breathe in through your nose for a count of 4 seconds. Second, you hold your breath for a count of 7 seconds. Third, you exhale through your mouth for a count of 8 seconds. Fourth, you repeat this cycle 4 to 8 times. That is it. That is the entire technique. It is simple. It is easy to learn. It is easy to practice. And it is incredibly effective. But why is this technique so effective? The mechanism is fascinating. When you practice the 4-7-8 breathing technique, you are activating your parasympathetic nervous system. Your parasympathetic nervous system is responsible for rest, recovery, and relaxation. When you activate your parasympathetic nervous system, your heart rate decreases, your blood pressure decreases, your cortisol levels decrease, your body relaxes, your mind calms. You transition from a state of stress and anxiety to a state of calm and relaxation. This is exactly the state you need to be in to fall asleep. The key to the 4-7-8 breathing technique is the extended exhalation. When you exhale for 8 seconds, which is twice as long as your inhalation, you are stimulating your vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the main nerve of your parasympathetic nervous system. When you stimulate your vagus nerve through extended exhalation, you send a signal to your brain that says, it is time to relax. It is time to rest. This signal activates your parasympathetic nervous system. It calms your nervous system. It prepares your body for sleep. Additionally, the breath-holding phase is important. When you hold your breath for 7 seconds, you are increasing the carbon dioxide levels in your blood. Increased carbon dioxide triggers your body to relax. It signals your body that it is time to slow down. It signals your body that it is time to rest. This is why the 7-second hold is important. Let me tell you about the research that proves how effective the 4-7-8 breathing technique is. A study published in the journal Psychophysiology found that paced breathing exercises like the 4-7-8 method significantly enhanced vagal activity and improved sleep quality in people with insomnia. Another study found that the 4-7-8 breathing technique significantly reduced anxiety and improved sleep quality in patients after bariatric surgery. A third study found that the 4-7-8 breathing technique improved heart rate variability and blood pressure, particularly in those without sleep deprivation. These studies demonstrate that the 4-7-8 breathing technique has measurable effects on your nervous system and your sleep. What is particularly important is that the 4-7-8 breathing technique works quickly. You do not have to practice it for weeks or months to see results. You can practice it for a few minutes and feel calmer immediately. This is why it is so useful for people with insomnia. When you are lying in bed and your mind is racing and your body is tense, you can practice the 4-7-8 breathing technique for just a few minutes and feel significantly calmer. This calm state makes it much easier to fall asleep. So now that you understand what the 4-7-8 breathing technique is and how it works, let me tell you exactly how to practice it. First, sit or lie down in a comfortable position. You can practice this technique while lying in bed if you want. Second, close your mouth. Third, breathe in through your nose for a count of 4 seconds. Fourth, hold your breath for a count of 7 seconds. Fifth, exhale through your mouth for a count of 8 seconds, making a whooshing sound if you can. Sixth, repeat this cycle 4 to 8 times. That is one complete practice session. You can do this practice session whenever you need to calm your nervous system. You can do it during the day if you are feeling anxious. You can do it before bed to prepare your body for sleep. You can do it in the middle of the night if you wake up and cannot fall back asleep. Now, let me tell you what happened with James after he learned the 4-7-8 breathing technique. I taught him the technique during our appointment. I had him practice it right there in my office. He did 4 cycles of the 4-7-8 breathing technique. After just 4 cycles, he told me that he felt noticeably calmer. His heart rate had slowed down. His body felt more relaxed. His mind felt clearer. He was amazed at how quickly it worked. I recommended that he practice the 4-7-8 breathing technique every evening before bed. I recommended that he do 8 cycles each evening. I also recommended that if he woke up in the middle of the night and could not fall back asleep, he should practice the technique again. On the first night, James went to bed and practiced the 4-7-8 breathing technique for 8 cycles. His mind was still racing a bit, but not as much as usual. He felt calmer. He fell asleep within about 30 minutes, which was much faster than his usual 2 to 3 hours. He slept through the night. He woke up in the morning feeling more rested than he had in years. By the second week, the improvement was dramatic. He was practicing the 4-7-8 breathing technique every evening before bed. He was falling asleep within 10 to 15 minutes. He was sleeping through the night. He was sleeping 6 to 7 hours per night. His sleep was deeper and more restorative. He was waking up in the morning feeling refreshed and energized. By the 4th week, something remarkable happened. James came back to my office and told me that his insomnia had dramatically improved. He was falling asleep quickly and easily. He was sleeping 7 to 8 hours per night. He was sleeping through the night most nights. He was waking up refreshed. He felt like himself. For the first time in over 8 years, he continued to practice the 4-7-8 breathing technique every evening, and his sleep remained excellent. But here is what is really important to understand. The 4-7-8 breathing technique did not cure James's insomnia with a magic pill or a quick fix. The 4-7-8 breathing technique cured his insomnia by addressing the root cause. His nervous system was in overdrive. His anxiety was high. His body was tense. When he practiced the 4-7-8 breathing technique, he activated his parasympathetic nervous system. He calmed his nervous system. He relaxed his body. He prepared his body for sleep. And when his body was in the right state, sleep happened naturally. And this is the key insight that I want you to take away from this video. Insomnia is often caused by an overactive nervous system. Your nervous system is in a state of stress and anxiety. Your body is tense. Your mind is racing. This state is incompatible with sleep. But when you practice the 4-7-8 breathing technique, you activate your parasympathetic nervous system. You calm your nervous system, you relax your body, you prepare your body for sleep. And when you do this consistently, your insomnia disappears. So let me give you a clear action plan that you can start implementing tonight. First, learn the 4-7-8 breathing technique. Breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, exhale for 8 seconds. Second, practice the technique every evening before bed. Do 8 cycles. Third, if you wake up in the middle of the night and cannot fall back asleep, practice the technique again. Fourth, be consistent. Practice the technique every night for at least 2 to 4 weeks. Your nervous system needs time to adapt, but if you are consistent, your sleep will improve dramatically. 5th, pay attention to how you feel after practicing the technique. Notice how your body relaxes. Notice how your mind calms. This will help you understand how the technique is working. Now, I have a question for you. Have you ever tried a breathing technique for sleep? Have you ever noticed how your breath affects your nervous system? Have you ever tried the 4-7-8 breathing technique? I would love to hear your experiences in the comments section below. If you try the 4-7-8 breathing technique, please come back and let me know how it affects your sleep. Your comments help me understand what topics are most important to you, and they help other viewers who are struggling with similar issues feel less alone. If you found this information helpful, please hit the like button. It helps the algorithm recommend this video to other people who are struggling with insomnia. And if you have not subscribed to this channel yet, please do. I release new videos every week about the science of sleep and how to optimize your health. By subscribing, you will never miss a video that could transform your sleep and your life. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you will practice the 4-7-8 breathing technique and experience the same transformation that James and thousands of my other patients have experienced. Sleep well, and I will see you in the next video. One more thing that I want to emphasize is the importance of understanding how the 4-7-8 breathing technique fits into the broader context of sleep and nervous system regulation. The 4-7-8 breathing technique is not a magic cure for insomnia. It is one tool that you can use to calm your nervous system and prepare your body for sleep. It works best when combined with other sleep-promoting strategies like maintaining a consistent sleep schedule, keeping your bedroom cool and dark, avoiding caffeine and alcohol, and managing stress during the day. When you combine the 4-7-8 breathing technique with these other strategies, your sleep will improve dramatically. Additionally, I want to emphasize that the 4-7-8 breathing technique can be used in many different situations, not just for sleep. You can use it during the day when you are feeling anxious or stressed. You can use it at work when you are feeling overwhelmed. You can use it before an important meeting or presentation. You can use it whenever you need to calm your nervous system. This versatility makes it an incredibly valuable tool to have in your toolkit. Another important consideration is that different people may need different amounts of practice to see results. Some people feel the effects of the 4-7-8 breathing technique immediately after just a few cycles. Other people need to practice it for a few days or weeks before they notice significant improvements. This is normal. Your nervous system is unique. Your body has its own timeline for adaptation. The key is to be patient and consistent. If you practice the technique regularly, you will see results. I also want to address a common concern. What if I cannot hold my breath for 7 seconds? What if I cannot exhale for 8 seconds? The answer is that you can adjust the timing to match your own pace. The important thing is to maintain the ratio of 1.1.75.2 for the inhalation, hold, and exhalation. So if you breathe in for 3 seconds, you would hold for about 5 seconds and exhale for 6 seconds. The exact numbers matter less than the ratio. Find a pace that works for you and stick with it. Finally, I want to remind you that your nervous system is constantly responding to your environment and your behaviours. When you practice the 4-7-8 breathing technique regularly, You are training your nervous system to be more responsive to calming signals. You are training your body to transition more easily into a state of rest and relaxation. Over time, this training becomes more and more effective. Your nervous system becomes more and more responsive. Your body becomes more and more able to relax, and your sleep becomes better and better. That is the power of understanding how your breath affects your nervous system. That is what I want for you. And that is what you can achieve by practicing the 4-7-8 breathing technique consistently. Additionally, research has shown that the 4-7-8 breathing technique is particularly effective for people whose insomnia is driven by anxiety and racing thoughts. If your insomnia is characterized by a mind that will not stop thinking, by worry and rumination, by a sense of dread or panic, then the 4-7-8 breathing technique is especially powerful for you. The technique works by interrupting the cycle of anxious thoughts. When you focus on your breath and count the seconds, your mind cannot focus on your anxious thoughts. This interruption breaks the cycle. Your nervous system calms, your mind quiets, and sleep becomes possible. One final note is that consistency is key. You will see the best results if you practice the 4-7-8 breathing technique every single night before bed, not just occasionally when you remember. Make it part of your bedtime routine. Make it as automatic as brushing your teeth. When you practice consistently, your nervous system learns to respond to the technique more and more effectively. Your body learns to transition into a state of relaxation more and more easily, and your sleep improves more and more. This is why consistency matters so much. This is why making the technique part of your daily routine is so important. Let me also explain in more detail the physiological mechanisms behind why the 4-7-8 breathing technique is so effective. When you practice slow, paced breathing with an extended exhalation, you are directly stimulating your vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the longest nerve in your body. It runs from your brain all the way down to your abdomen. The vagus nerve is the main nerve of your parasympathetic nervous system. When you stimulate your vagus nerve, you activate your parasympathetic nervous system. This activation has multiple effects on your body. Your heart rate slows down, your blood pressure decreases, your muscle tension decreases, your digestion improves, your immune function improves, your cortisol levels decrease. All of these changes prepare your body for sleep. Additionally, the 4-7-8 breathing technique increases the levels of carbon dioxide in your blood. Carbon dioxide is a natural relaxant. When carbon dioxide levels increase, your body interprets this as a signal to relax and slow down. This is why the breath holding phase is so important. By holding your breath for 7 seconds, you are allowing carbon dioxide to accumulate in your blood. This accumulation sends a signal to your body that it is time to rest. Furthermore, the 4-7-8 breathing technique helps regulate your autonomic nervous system. Your autonomic nervous system has 2 branches: the sympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for stress and alertness, and the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for rest and recovery. In people with insomnia, the sympathetic nervous system is often overactive. The parasympathetic nervous system is often underactive. The 4-7-8 breathing technique helps shift the balance. It reduces sympathetic activity and increases parasympathetic activity. This shift is exactly what you need to fall asleep. The beauty of the 4-7-8 breathing technique is that it is simple, accessible, and free. You do not need any equipment. You do not need to go anywhere. You do not need to take any medications. You just need to know how to do it and be willing to practice it consistently. This makes it an incredibly valuable tool for anyone struggling with insomnia.